Today we are privileged to have three young men who have excelled academically, not just by San Angelo standards, but by national standards, because all three of these young men are National Merit Commended students. We have one from Lakeview High School, Jonathan Shouse, and we have two from Central High School, David Corpstein and Kent Fisher. And they are setting standards for other young people to come in San Angelo for what you have accomplished and to get this level of honor. I want to find out a little bit about you. Where did you go to school mostly, here in San Angelo or from other cities? Start here. Tell me where you've gone to school.
Okay, well, I started off in Cornerstone Christian School, a small private school. I just went there for one grade.
Okay.
But we actually moved out to Wall, and we had a wonderful elementary experience there. And but the start of 9th grade, I moved to Central, and so I was the first year at Central Freshman Campus, and I've really enjoyed my entire high school experience, now being a senior at Central.
Okay, well done.
I went to school like various places in town as an elementary, and then I also went through Grape Creek as elementary. But after I got through that, I went to junior high at Lincoln, and I went to Lincoln and then Lakeview since then, and it's been really good to me.
Good. So. David?
I spent elementary in various places across the U.S. because my parents were in the military. So I went to about 4 elementary schools. We eventually moved to Canyon, which is a small town outside of Amarillo, and I went to junior high there. And then at the end of my 8th grade year, we moved here, and I've been at Central ever since.
Well, I, like you, went because my father was, in my early years, was military, so I have moved as well. But you've turned out doing very well. Talk to me about what you plan to do after you graduate, if you know yet, and knowing full well that that could be adjusted. If you had to make your decision today, where are you going to be next year? Let's start down here with David.
After high school, I plan to join the Navy.
Are you in ROTC now?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I would like to join the Navy band. I really like music. If not, possibly a field in computer science.
Good. That's a good choice. What about you?
Well, if I had to choose right now, then I probably wouldn't choose right now, because I've got a lot of things I've got to choose from. But it looks like right now I'm leaning towards going to a college here in Texas and getting a degree in either like a physics degree or a music degree, or dual majoring, which is probably what I'll end up doing because I like them both too much.
So we've got two interested in music. Way to go. That was my minor in college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, if I had to choose today, I think I would choose to stay in college in Texas. And I've applied to a couple of places across the state of Texas, and including A&M and SMU in Dallas, Southern Methodist University. And I just got to say, the top 10% rule I do think is a wonderful thing for high school seniors. It gives a lot of assurance, and it's a nice thing to shoot for. And Angelo State University, also a wonderful university we have right here in San Angelo, so definitely would encourage that to other students. But interested in political science or maybe a foreign language, considering Russian. My grandpa did a little bit of work in Russia, so just considering that.
Wow. Way to go, guys. Good choices, by the way. We'll look forward to seeing what you're really into this time next year. Talk to us about what in your high school experience or in your life perhaps open doors in your mind where you could excel on a test like this, because it's more than just being smart. They're normally people who have attained any recognition by national merit know that it's more than just having a good mind. It's a broad range of experiences. Do any of the three of you all have something in your life that added to your educational experience that you think allowed you to get this recognition?
Well, yeah, I personally do. Either you.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. Well, I have to say that at Central High School we do have a couple of wonderful teachers that really put a ton of their time and effort into going above and beyond and really preparing our students, those of us who, want to, and you just be really reaching into our lives and enabling us to prepare for such a test like this. An example would be Miss Meadows at Central. She's an Algebra 2 teacher, so she was the math teacher I had. I know David was in my class, and she taught us all the SAT tricks before this PSAT, so she got us all up to speed. There's all these little tricks you can do that really speed up the time on the math section, being a timed test, and she really works very hard staying after school, almost every day, I think till 6 o'clock or something, and she really just always there for tutoring, runs SAT prep, and just other teachers like that just have really, made it possible to, with, an open mind and a willingness to learn, which is important, and, I have to say comes from my background, my Christian upbringing. Those with that willingness, the teachers at Central really have made it possible to excel.
Well, I've heard that about Ms. Meadows and her willingness to do more than the 50-minute class period or 55 minutes that she has young people in class. And there are others, as you mentioned, but she's a great example. Any of you think that some other piece of your upbringing or your experiences have helped you have an edge up on this?
Personally, I have to agree that teachers are a big role in it because they're the ones that are there, and they're the ones that teach you things that you carry with you. I mean, even past the PSAT and things like that. And so I have to agree that those make a big difference. But personally, I've been privileged to go to some programs that take me away from away from the town, but away from my home, and give me a view of life other places. And I've been influenced by a lot of things like that. Like I was invited to go to a Duke Tip summer studies program where I took an Algebra 2 course, and that really challenged the way I thought and the way I learned things, because it was the way that the curriculum was designed for pretty much a year's class in 3 weeks. That was pretty strenuous on
How old
students.
were you, and where did you go for that class?
For that, it was the summer before my 10th grade year, and I went to the summer studies program at A&M, and that was really neat. And then I've also was invited to go to NYLC, the National Youth Leadership Conference, Young Leaders Conference.
Where and when was that?
That was my sophomore year, March. Yeah, that was the March of my sophomore year, which was last year in 2007. I got to go to Washington, D.C. and do a lot of political examples and stuff like that, and just I have to say that those special experiences, not only they're special to me because I learned things from unfamiliar surroundings that really just challenged me to keep my mind open to things that I was not familiar with, and it's helped me broaden my mind.
Any reading experiences? What is something that you all, what kind of reading, and has reading, you've mentioned about math, which is certainly a big piece of the tests that you take, but what are some things that you enjoy reading that you think have helped you with vocabulary? Because vocabulary is a big part of doing well on this test.
well, I know my mother always read to me from a young age, and so I've just really grown up with a love of reading, and I think it must have something to do with genetics or my mind, because I mean, I know we all certainly have different skills and abilities, and I just have to say that I do love reading. Again, I had some wonderful courses at Central, really been pushed to read and experiment with new genres and new authors and things like that. I do like romantic literature. And I know we just read Beowulf in my English class, which was, I know it's epic literature. It's pretty wordy. It's almost, a little bit archaic wording. And but I enjoyed it so much, and it just really does show me what kind of major I want to pursue in college. But reading like that, things have really inspired me. It just kind of really feeds into me, and I do believe that that's inspired part of my love for learning. And I've also just enjoyed reading things like English romantic literature, Nathaniel Hawthorne, things like that. And yeah, Beowulf recently has been very
Well, there
inspiring.
certainly is vocabulary in that type of literature that we don't talk like that.
Mm-hmm.
And though it has exposed you to vocabulary that otherwise you wouldn't be exposed to. Either of you guys?
For me, I've read a lot of just recent fiction, and I don't know, that's my personal favorite genre, like the Chronicles of Narnia, is it the Inheritance series, the Aragon eldest and now Brisingner? I think I'm not sure what the series is called, but those are really good. And I have a little bookshelf in my room where I've got these books, and they're mostly little fiction series, but for me, like vocabulary wise, I have to say that in books like that where the author is trying to paint a definite picture that's using their own unique style of writing, you tend to find a random word you don't really see in conversation much, and then if you don't know it, or you kind of know it, you at least see what it means in the use of it in the story. And I have to admit that that's personally where I've probably learned I've actually expanded my vocabulary like that, because it's being interested in the story that I'm reading has made me not just skip over the word I didn't know and just say, I don't know that one, go to the next question, but try to figure it out so I know what's going on.
Well, guys, you are going to be, like it or not, called upon to be leaders in our world in the next decade or so, if not before then. Are you hopeful for our world, or are you more fearful for our world? And what do you think you can contribute? What do you see yourself contributing to our world in a decade?
Well, I think certainly the only way we can be is hopeful. I certainly would love to hope for the best future, and just as for myself, I hope that what I can contribute to the world is just what I've been put here by God to do, and I hope I can figure that out through college, and just use whatever abilities I've been given to the fullest, and to make a better world. And so I'd like to say I'm hopeful about the world, but specifically something with words. I told you, just love reading.
Okay, more hopeful?
I like to stay on the hopeful edge of that, because it's a better outlook than fearful. And about my contributions in the next 10 years, I really don't know, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow for Lakeview or this town. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'll be doing in 10 years, but I guess I'll be hopeful that my contribution, that I can contribute my good aspects to at least the people around me, or or be an inspiration to someone. Just, if I may not be able to change the world with some great discovery, but I'll say that I hope that my contribution to the world is positive. And
Good.
I'll shoot for
We
that.
hope so as well. What about you, David? Are you more hopeful, or are you more concerned about our world, and what do you see as your role in it?
I would say that I have a hopeful outlook. I like to be optimistic. Keeps you happy.
Good,
Oh,
good.
Yeah, listen, I know.
In the next decade, I'd like to see myself in a career in music education. Possibly, a band director at a high school or something. And that would really be an opportunity to bring music to people and stuff.
Well, I hope that you're able to do that as well, because I think being a part of a band or an orchestra, I was an orchestra person, and and a choir person, and I very much enjoy being a part of that kind of group. What instrument do you play?
The tuba.
Okay. Oh, wow, big brass, big brass. Way to go. Well, guys, I hope as you are entering either your military training or your college training, that you will not become so focused on survival and doing very well in your grades, that you don't become a part of something as well, a club or there are ways through the military, I know, that you can do extra things and be a part of some things that even in the military, the bands, I've had students to go try out for bands in different branches of the military and spent their whole career traveling all over the world as a part of the bands. They're very interesting things. We think, or the world may think of the military as just fighting wars, but there are many other aspects of the military. But the ones who I think enjoy this phase of their lives are involved in at least one something, a group or a club, and it keeps them, it ministers to their soul while they're studying and keeping their nose in a book. Well, you all have set a standard very high at a very young age for yourselves, and I hope that you will, in the next 4 years and the next decade, keep your standards high and reach what you're capable of reaching, and then contribute to make this world better. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.